Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ms. Dubois going through the last series of topics for Pre-Algebra Goal 4, and I gotta be honest, I've been waiting for a while. These are some of my favorite topics to do because I am a total algebra nerd and I love solving equations. All right, the really pretty stuff doesn't come until Algebra 1, but this will act as a good kind of basis for you. So before I get into the actual equations, I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you've been seeing on and off throughout pre-algebra. You have Pemdas, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. When you're solving specifically a two-step equation, you always want to go in reverse order. And what you're looking to do, computer, what are you doing? Give me a second. There we go, all fixed. All right, so what you're always looking to do is you kind of first start with undoing addition and subtraction. Then second, you're going to start undoing your multiplication and division, and so on and so forth. Because it's a two-step, you're only really working in these two areas. And that's actually good for beginners. It gets you comfortable with what it looks like. Everything after that in Algebra 1 is a two-step equation will always be your end result. And I will literally tell you, hey, are you on familiar ground now? And your answer will be, yes, miss, because you remember your pre-algebra. So to start, what they do, and this is one of those topics where Ms. Dubois does not like the explanation, so I'm going to circumvent it entirely and actually get you used to the solving. If I look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to very quickly draw a vertical line down through my equal sign so that I always know that what I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other. Because here's the thing about an equation. You can have gobbledygook equals gobbledygook, but that equal sign is a fulcrum. There's a science word for all of my science nerds. That fulcrum keeps your equation balanced. So if I have to do something to one side, it's something crazy like +1, I better darn sure well do it on the other side. Otherwise, the equation, the balance, will tip out of favor. And for some kids, they kind of have trouble seeing what one side of the equation is versus the other. And so for beginners, it's always a good idea to draw that vertical line in order to help you delineate what's one side versus the other. Now, Pemdas in reverse. Here's our first equation, 6y plus 3 equals 27. I start with looking for my addition and subtraction. I have that +3 right there waiting to move. It's so impatient, it wants to get going. What is the opposite of addition? Subtraction. So in order to move it, I'm going to move the 9 with subtraction. And what I do to one side, I do to the other, -3. 6y is chilling. It's just going to drop down. And then 27 minus 3 is what? 24. Is there any other addition and subtraction for here for me to look at? No. Okay, so that's now all taken care of. Let's move up a bit and move with the multiplication and division. What operation is this? We've talked about it several times by this point. This is going to be multiplication. What is the opposite of multiplication? Division. And what did we learn about goal 2 in division? Division is the same as fractions. So if I do over 6, you know that means that I'm doing division. Cancels. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. 24 over 6. So human calculator rapidly does 24 divided by 6 in my head, and I get y equals 4. And hey, look, that y that has been chilling for the entire goal has finally decided to do something. It's like, yeah, I'm a 4, so what? And so, is there a 4 anywhere here in our list? Yes. Literally everything else is a no. And that's what makes this kind of easy. They will, in the explanation, they'll make you go through the effort of plugging in the number, the 5, the 9, the 4, the 2, into the equation and force you to do out the order of operations every single time until you get a 27. And on paper, abstractly, I understand why they do that, but this, I find, mentally is a lot more efficient for me. So over here, now new topic, we're going to start again with addition and subtraction. I have a +6 here waiting to move very patiently, so let's move it. The opposite of addition is subtraction, so -6. What I do to one side, I do to the other. The 2w drops down because it's chilling. What is 4 minus 6? They are opposite signs, so we're going to subtract. So what's 6 minus 4? 2. What number is the bigger, quote, unquote, bigger number, the 6, so therefore that's the sign that dominates. That's why it's -2. Next, I'm done with my addition and subtraction. Now it's time for multiplication and division. That is multiplication. We undo that with division. We undo that with, nope, division. There we go. What is 2 divided by 2? -1. Is -1 an option here? Yes. There you go. I believe, I don't know if it's this topic or something I'm thinking about in Algebra 1, but once in a blue moon, just to make yourself mentally prepared, sometimes it's available, it's an option to have no for all of them. Don't let it freak you out. Or if you do let it freak you out, call myself or Ms. Reed over and we can show you whether or not you're correct and see if there's a mistake in the work, or if no, it's totally chill. You can get all no's. Next, using 2 steps to solve an equation with whole numbers. So again, we're easing our way in. We're giving you guys the comfortable numbers first before we start screwing with your brains. So very quickly, I'm going to rewrite this because I don't like to simplify your answer as much as possible, and I regret making that in my screen grab. 22. I'm going to draw my vertical line down. So I start with my addition and subtraction. This time I have -18. What is the opposite of minus? Addition. What I do to one side, I do to the other. The 2x drops down because it's chilling. 22 and 18 is 30, 40. And now that's multiplication. How do I undo multiplication? I'm going to divide. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 20. And there's my final answer, and that's what I'm going to input into the software. Now, y over 3 plus 15 equals 34. For this one, that's plus 15 because I always start with my addition and subtraction. So what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. -15 minus 15. Y over 3. Oh, that's terrible. Let me try that again. Y over 3 drops down. What's 34 minus 15? 19. And now this one, this is not multiplication. So therefore, what does it be? It looks kind of, what does it be? Whatever. That looks like a fraction. Fractions mean division. Ah, this is division. So what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. Times 3 times 3. Y equals 30, 50, 57. Next one, 114 equals 5y plus 14. Now, I've had kids tell me that they are not comfortable or they're not used to having the variable on the right side of the equation. It is worth pointing out that either or, just because mathematicians like having the variable on the left side of the equation doesn't mean that there isn't the rando person who's like, no, I want it on the right side of the equation. And math people are pretty chill. And it's like, oh, okay, we can leave it on the right. We're good. Now, undoing. Let's see here. There's a plus 14, so that's what I want to undo first. So I'm going to undo with subtraction, -14. -14. Oh, I already know the answer. That's going to get me 100 equals 5y. Now that's multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Division. Y equals 20. And there's your next answer. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit further. This one's a personal favorite of mine, and this topic actually copy and pastes into Algebra 1. This can be done 2 ways, and so I am going to show you both ways of solving it, and then you can pick your favorite, okay? So as we go through this, the first way we can do it is we can do it the traditional way. Because remember, we talked about this in the last video. That's a -1. So the first thing I'm going to do is undo my addition, so I'm going to subtract 165 minus 165. That leaves me with -1w equals -42, I think. Yeah, 42. Then that's multiplication. So I'm going to divide by -1, divide by -1, and then w equals 42. That's option 1. Option 1. Option 2. I just realized I didn't put this on any of them when I was setting this up. Okay, option 2, a lot of people, myself included, have never been comfortable with negative variables. Maybe they're weak with their integers, maybe just visually it's just aesthetically unpleasing. I don't particularly care, but there's people out there who don't like negative variables. So what we're going to do is, and I know it's going to shock some people, but we're going to move the variable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my u, undo that subtraction, and move it over here, and move it over here. And actually, let me make that a little bit clearer. Because I know the 112 and the u are not like terms, I don't line them up perfectly, and I do that specifically to remind myself that they're not like terms. So the 171 drops down, and then I'm left with u plus 112. Now it's a much more comfortable equation for beginners. We're going to minus the 112 minus the 112. U equals what? 59. So it does not matter which way you do it. You can pick option 1 or option 2, whichever one is your favorite. I literally do not care because you will get the same answer regardless of which option you choose. So you have the ability to figure out this one I'm more comfortable with, this one I like more, and go have at it. So for this one, I'll do both options again just so that you guys can visually see it and you have some repetition. So I'm going to put a -1 there. I'm going to minus my 74, so this is option 1. The -1v drops down, and that becomes 27. And then we divide by our -1, divide by our -1, v equals -117. Option 2, we're going to move the y, so I'm going to plus the y on one side, I'm going to plus the y on the other side, so now y plus 157 equals 220, and now to get y by itself, I'm going to move the 157, move the 157, and now y equals, let's see here, 63, yeah, 63. You guys with the calculators can shout at me in the comments if I get it wrong. Now, we know how to deal with negative coefficients because that was the big thing. All of our variables were negative. And now let's see if we can combine these things. Two-step equation with integers. So now there's going to be signs everywhere. Positive, negative, the whole gamut. So 2 plus 5w equals 37. So they gave us a nice one where everything is positive. Minus 2, because that's the addition. Minus 2, and you undo the addition. 5w drops down because it's chill. 37 minus 2 is 35. Now, that's 5w is multiplication. I undo multiplication with division. Undo with division. W equals 7. And there's my final answer. 9 equals 3. Wow, that did not write well at all. Let me try that again. 9 equals 3 plus y over 3. Haha. Now, addition first, that's a positive 3. So we undo that positive with minus 3, minus 3. So that gives me 6 on one side and then y over 3 on the other. And we're going to remind ourselves that fraction is actually division. And because it's division, the opposite of that is multiplication. So times 3 times 3. Y equals 6 times 3, which is 18. Next, -7 plus 3y equals 2. Let's see here. Now, this 7 over here is negative. Because it's negative, it's a subtraction. They're hiding it from you, but it's a subtraction. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So plus 7 plus 7. 3y equals 7 plus 2 is 9. That's multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So divide by 3, y equals 3. What else is there? Let's see here. This topic right here, I'm going to tell you right now, that is an SAT question. You're going to see that later this year in October when you take the PSATs. You're going to see it again as a junior when you take the actual PSATs. It pops up a lot and it's considered easy. And I want to show you why it's considered easy. A lot of kids visually get a little bit stuck because they say two things. They see this and then they say this and they're like, Miss, how do I start? And so I want to tell you right now, you always start with whatever thing that has the equal sign, So I'm going to look at that 11u minus 7 equals 4. And I'm going to set that up. So we have minus 7, so the opposite of that is addition, plus 7. 11u equals 4 plus 7, which is 11. That's multiplication. We undo that with division. Undo that with division. U equals 1. Ha ha! And I can already hear so many of you saying, oh, we're done now. No, you're not. Because we've done this part, but we still now have to do this part. So if they give us u plus 2, and we just went through the effort of figuring out that u equals 1, then I know darn well what I'm going to do. U becomes 1. What is 1 plus 2? 3. And that's actually my final answer. Okay, we'll go through another example. We have this and this. That's the one with the equal sign, so that's the one we start with. Negative 2x minus 5 equals 5. Drop our line. That 5 is subtraction. You undo that with addition. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Negative 2x drops down. 5 plus 5 is 10. That's negative 2, and I know someone's going to say something, but I remind you, when they're smashed together like that, there's a hidden multiplication symbol. So this is negative 2 times x. And since it's times x, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, x equals negative 5. Are we done? No, because we still haven't done this part. So now we have 3x minus 4. Only now it's not 3x because we just figured out that x is 5. So, or negative 5 rather, so we're going to plug in that negative 5. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15 minus 4. Same sign, so you add negative 19 is my final answer. Last one, we have this choice and this choice. That's the one with the equal sign, so that's what we'll do first. 3u minus 8 equals 4. Computer, good computer. Now, let's see here. The minus 8 is what we undo first, so the opposite of subtraction is addition. What we do to one side, we do to the other. 3u drops down. 4 plus 8 is 12. This is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division, so divide by 3. Divide by 3, u equals 4. That's part 1, but we're not actually done yet, because now you have that 2u minus 7. Only it's not 2u, because we just figured out what does u equal. U equals 4, so we're going to plug that in. Distribute. 2 times 4 is 8. What is 8 minus 4? 4. And that's your final answer. Is there anything after this? No, there isn't. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is all of the fun stuff in pre-algebra. And you get to start in Algebra 1 with that fun stuff. This, unequivocally, I've been looking forward to this video because this is some of my favorite stuff that I like doing. And so, that should be everything for Goal 4. I believe every single topic is covered. If I missed one, either tell me in class or leave a comment down below. And now you should be ready to not only handle all of the topics, but all of the questions on the DSA. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and the next round of videos will be on Goal 5 and transmission.